Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our ecoc session where we're going to be training everybody on the use of the ecoc platform, which has been recently updated. Additionally, it's also been made available to non-members of the ECA. So if you are interested in utilizing the platform, you must just contact your local ECA office. And yeah, the ecoc is a digital platform COC, stands for Electronic Certificate of Compliance. It's intended to make your working life easier, and it's intended to be more secure and more safe. As with an ecoc platform, you typically won't have cases of people stealing your COCs out of your bucky and all of those type of things. You will typically only have cases where if you share your login details, that would be your biggest risk around it. Okay. Tonight, we're going to look at the platform itself, how to use it, how it works, all of those specific things, any limitations that might be there. So by the end of the session, you'll be able to log in and navigate the ecoc platform, create, manage, and submit to ecoc, attach supporting documents and signatures, lock, sign, and save, send, and completed ecoc to clients, troubleshoot common issues, and access support resources. Okay, so tonight's objective is to get you familiar with the platform. It's not about the document itself. It's not about utilizing it's not specific COC training. There is sessions that we do hold on in-depth COC training. It's a lot longer than tonight's time will allow. So anybody who's part of the ecoc platform, this is just to make sure that you use it correctly and you drive the platform forward. Naturally, if there's any recommendations or anything, you're welcome to send it through to the offices. So before you can start using the ecoc, you should have a compatible device, browser, and stable internet connection. A compatible device, you can do this off of a tablet. I've done that. I've even done one on a phone. It does resize according to it. It's a web app. So basically, it's on a website, so you would need an internet connection. If you go to the website, it would look like this. So it's a web app. You log in, and it's stored on the servers. Okay. Your browser is ideally Google Chrome or Chrome-based browsers. It's designed around Chrome specifically for the best usage. So if you've got Chrome or if you've got Brave or similar that is Chrome-based, then it'll work quite nicely. Tonight I'll be showing you how the look on Chrome. This is it in Google Chrome. So make sure that your browser is right. So that you can use it correctly. Okay. Then you're going to need valid access credentials to the site. Now, you will see that there's a login number and there's a password that you would need to get. In order for you to get that, you're going to need to go to email or contact the local ECA office. There's a document you would have to complete as a non-member. Fill it in, and they will capture your profile and do your first password and number for you. Now, specifically, if you're a member, your profile would already be on there. It would just have to be activated and verified. You can just contact the office and make sure that all your details are still correct and that they activate your profile for you. Okay. So you would need those two details. We would need to have all of your registered and personal company details for the profile. Because the COC has contractor details and registered person details on it pre-completed, the database stores it and completes that section of information for you automatically. So just make sure that your register details and company details are up to date, and make sure that your registration dates are correct, ID numbers are correct. It's the right person who's completed on there, so that you can issue valid certificates. Because we only base the information on what is on the document or what is given to us. So in order to log in, you can access the ecoc platform. It's a subdomain of the ECA's website via the ECA SA website or the ecoc.ecasa.co.za website. Now, if you go to the ECA's main website, which is here, you'll see that the ECA's main website looks like this. Right on top, on the top banner, you'll see the ecoc login platform. You can click on that and it'll open the ecoc platform. Alternatively, you can just go directly to the ecoc platform like such. ecoc.ecasa, and it'll take you directly to the subdomain. So you can access it in two separate ways. You enter your username and your password. As we said, the first one gets done for you. And you get to access your profile immediately after that. Click login, and then you will go to the dashboard. Now, before we get to the dashboard, you will see that there is a forgot username or password here. If you click on that, you fill in the email that the ecoc is registered on. It'll go to our IT team, and they will sort out your password reset on site. I'm not going to test it tonight, but if you do have to click on it, it'll just ask you for the email. You use the correct email, and you use your username, either one of the two. Click reset password, then the IT team will assist you with resetting your password and making sure. Okay. But if you're already set and you've got your password, you've got everything, you can click login. This will take you to the login page. Sorry, mine was just zoomed in, so it's a little bit clearer. The login page looks like this. This is your main dashboard. Here you navigate between all of the specifics on the ecoc platform. Now, if you're an older user, you might still have COCs under the SANS 101 for 2 edition 2 era, or AKA the old 4-page COCs. You would still have access to those as your profile doesn't delete any COCs. You would still have access to them specifically. Okay, so if you did issue any here. But for everybody else, you'll be working under the edition 3 COC. Now, this is everything past 2020 when edition 3 was published and the 2-page COC came into effect. Okay. Now, on your dashboard, you've got 3 main options here. On the top there, you've got the ecoc logo, and on the top right, you've got what you logged in as and the option to sign out. Okay. So you've got 3 options. You can either go to your locked COCs. Now, locked COCs are when you've issued the COCs, you've done editing them, and you've attached your signatures to them. You get to what is known as a locked ecoc. Now, you can at any time go and look at these COCs and see the COCs that you have issued in the past, recall them, reprint them, everything, and bring them forward. So if you want to access the COCs you've already issued, you go to your locked ecocs archive. Unlocked COCs are COCs you're currently busy with. They are specifically there for your, so let's say you get to a site and you're busy with a site, it'll tell you, okay, this COC is specifically now there, and it's specifically for this site. So I still have chance to edit it until it is until I've locked it. You see there's a big red button under here. If I click that big red button, it'll lock the COC and I cannot issue it further. Can't edit it. Once it's locked, it's locked. There's no going back. Okay. Then you can create a new COC from the platform. Okay. So let's look at creating our first COC. Our first eCOC, digital COC. Okay. Always remember we encourage frequent saving because that means you avoid data loss. Additionally, if you do take all your measurements on site and you place them in, like your address, your location, your GPS location, all of that, you do have the opportunity to save them and go complete the rest of the COC at home. So you don't have to, as soon as you've opened it, completed it, you can save your COC and edit it later up until the point where it is locked. Okay. Always double check your COC for accuracy before you save it. So if, for example, you click save and your internet was gone for a couple of seconds or a minute or two, and it didn't save accurately, please just go and review it and double check and make sure it's completed accurately. Because sometimes we live in a country that's got Vodacom towers up and down and cell phone towers up and down. So sometimes you do get internet fading a bit. So make sure that it has saved. If it hasn't saved, you make sure that you complete it and save it correctly. Okay. So let's look at creating our first eCOC. So our eCOC here, we click on create a new eCOC. Now this gives us some options. It takes us to annexure 1. Anywhere there's a block like this, you can type in it. Anywhere there is a date reference, you can select the date. If there's a checkbox, you can select the checkbox. Okay, very important. When you select the checkbox, it'll automatically nullify the rest. So if I issue an initial, there is no supplement for this initial, it's already going to blanket and complete it as not applicable. So I don't have to do that. You will notice on annexure 1, it's the front page of your COC, where your location details are. You would fill in your address. Apologies, I just see somebody's annotating on the screen. Yeah, sorry, somebody was just drawing on the screen while I was talking, distracting. So you can enter all of the details here. We're going to go through that specifically now. This is your registered person details. So whoever, ID number, whoever. Then I have to select my type of installation, new, existing, or new part. I just click on whichever is applicable. The information here is already filled in automatically. This is information that I can fill in. Select the type of my installation. My details about my registered person is completed automatically, what type of registration he's got. So in this case, it says, yes, he's an installation electrician. This is his number. This is when he registered. He has his contact details that gets auto-completed. I can't edit it. You see here. I cannot edit anything here. Okay. Okay, so it gets auto-completed. Then with your electrical contractor, everything gets auto-completed again. And your name of your contractor, email address, everything is already there waiting for you. And all you can then complete at the end is your username. Very important, username and the date that the user is going to receive the CFC. You can pre-complete it, or you can just leave it and complete it later. Now, when you complete your address here, be aware you cannot edit it after you've put it in. So stop people using multiple samples for multiple CFCs. So if we put in the address, mine's got an autocomplete address. We can put in the address. Then additionally, what we can do is, you see this little button on the side here. If you click that button, it will get your GPS coordinates for you, where you are currently standing. Alternatively, you can fill it in yourself. Pole number and plot number, you would fill in your pole number if you have a pole number. For lot number, you'd fill in if it's available. Now, underneath here, there's a note that just guides you on how to get your earth and your lot number. This is if you don't have it on a municipal bill or anywhere else. You can use your local municipality GIS platform and find it via those routes there. Okay. So you can complete that. Let's say our user down here is going to accept it, and he's going to receive the COC tomorrow. Now I've got three options. When I click save down here at the bottom, this blue bar here, there's three options for me. So either when I click save, it's going to go to return to the unlocked part of the COC, or if I select this one, it's going to create me a new test report, a standard test report, or if I click this one, it'll create me a COC, a PV test report. Very important, the PV test report can only be issued with the standard test report in place. It'll give you an error if you try and issue the PV test report without the supporting main test report. Okay. So once we click save, let's create a normal test report. We click save. It's automatically going to go to the test report. Now, this is page 2 of your COC. And what you can do here is right on top, you can select your date of issue. I'm issuing it today. Okay. Then I can put in here the description of my installation, of the supply and the DB name. Okay, once I save, that'll also be blacked out, and this test report is allocated to there automatically. The address is automatically completed, and then I would just literally go through my test report by indicating all my specific parts. I can click permanent, or I can click temporary, type of installation, voltage of the installation, number of phases, phase rotation, not applicable if it's 1. Okay, frequency is 50 Hertz. Then I can get to my main switch. If I say my main switch is a switch disconnector or a circuit, let's make it a circuit breaker. Then I can either click up or down there to increase the numbers, or I can type the numbers in. Okay, in this case, you can type in that it's a 63 amp double pole, and it is rated at 3 kA. Okay. Then you select here, is lightning protection installed? You can change it yes, no, yes, no. It defaults to no here. It's not compulsory. Is alternative power supply installed? Is any part specialized? Is any part above 1 kilovolt? Now, very important, these two would have additional test reports that you could add. They're not part of the similar platform, but if you do want to attach them, you can either attach them as images or as additional documents. Very important. Okay. Then I would describe my installation or describe my attachments. I would indicate exactly what's going on here, increasing the numbers. You'll see on the right-hand side, you can go up and down with numbers as well. Okay. So it's exactly in the same format as the test report. The only difference is here with earth leakage protects, because this is a question on what is protected by earth leakage, you can type yes as you're supposed to. Okay. You can type no as you're supposed to. Is my whole installation protected by earth leakage? Yes. Is only part of my installation? No. My whole installation is. Okay. Alternative power supply connections. Let's say there's one. Okay. Then when you get to your section 4, you will see that you've got radial buttons. So if the specific question is not applicable, I can switch the question off or on. Same like you've got on your phone. And if that question is applicable, then I can answer it yes, 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 or no, 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 as required. Okay. This would automatically check the box that is on the test report when we click save. Then you start with your bonding and your earth resistance readings. Now, very important, the test report that is currently in the book only asks for a checkbox, so you would say you have tested it. If you've got more than one reading, the SANS 10142 8.6.1 says you must attach additional readings, so you can always attach them as an image or as a PDF. Okay. If you leave anything blank here, it won't be completed. And you can complete things here. Let's say you got it, what, 0.3. Okay. PACC is 0.7. And I've measured it. Voltage between neutral and ground, I get 1 volt. My insulation resistance would be the reading that I achieve. Okay. My voltage would be on the specific phase that I have. Whatever I've picked up there. My reading on my earth leakage, I would complete. And then we get to the last questions on section 4, which is operation of earth leakage. I can say yes, no, or not applicable. So in this case, phase rotation at points of consumption for 3 phases is not applicable because I've got a single phase installation. So I wouldn't tick that. Then I can type comments here if I need to. Now, some of these tests are verified. And with later revisions of this ecoc, we will be building in formulas to double check whether or not your earth loop is correct for the specific KA, when it will give you a warning. But that's coming, that's future development. That's future development. Also, when you exceed specific stated ranges, it will start warning you. But that's future development that we're planning for it. At the moment, it does small checks like whether or not you use the correct integers and all of that type of stuff to make sure that the document is correctly filled in. Okay, whether you use numbers and not letters, so you don't write here with 3 volts. Okay, then section 5 is automatically completed. And you would then have the option to say, okay, I can go to the next page on save, or I can return to an unlocked COC when I click save, or I can create a new COC when I click save. Or I can create a new PV test report. In our case, I want to show you the functionality of the PV test report before we go on. Okay, so thus far we've sorted out our COC and we've sorted out our test report. So it's relatively quick and simple. I mean, if you had to write it up, it would take forever and a day. But in our case, it's quick and easy. So specifically, when I go to the new test report, the PV test report, I indicate what it is. I then have can complete it and say name of the inverter is Hajj. And the serial number of the inverter is there. Type of FCCG, it's a hybrid inverter. Total size, let's say it's a 6 kVA. It's a 6 or 7 kVA. Number of phases it covers, 1, 2, or 3. So it'll cover 1. Voltage of the grid, the rated voltage is 230. It uses the other battery, a 51-volt battery. Okay. So the functionality is relatively easy and simple to use. So when you do your number of phases, your frequency, it's all straightforward to use. Now here, once you've got a switch disconnector as your main or a circuit breaker as your main, so a double pole, and let's say it's a 25 amp, and it's got 3 kA as an example. So it's quick and easy to fill in. Then we would answer our questions here. Lightning protection wasn't required. My anti-islanding was on. My earth continuity conductors are connected to the main terminal. The electrical installation COC and test report are attached. Yes. SLD attached. Let's say yes. Accessible disconnector installed or supplier. It's not applicable. My supplier said no. Okay. Section 3, here I describe my installation, what exactly I'm installing, or if I'm attaching drawings. Then here I start. I've got 8 panels, or let's say it's 10 panels. I've got 2 parallel strings. I've got 5 panels in series. I've got 2 parallel strings. I've got 1 battery, 1 battery. Okay. I've got 1 DC combiner box, and then I could add whatever I need to. And let's say I've got an external MPPT, for example. I can add it and say I've got 1. Okay, so you got the availability there to add whatever you might need to add there. Then on this side, it's asking us 2 things. How many and what is the rating? AC disconnectors, I've got 2, and they each rated at 25 amps. RCD, I've got 1, and it's rated at 30 milliamps. Disconnection device, I have, if I've got a DGSL or if I've got something that my municipality requires, I would complete it there. My DC overcurrent devices, now this is where I typically tell guys, listen here, you've got a DC overcurrent and a DC disconnect here. So if I've got a battery and I've got a DC fuse disconnect of 250 amps or whatever for my battery, then I would say it's here. I've got 1 of them and it's rated at 250 amps. Okay. Then here I'll put in my overcurrent devices for my fuses. Let's say I've got 2, and they're rated at 20 amps each. DC disconnectors, I've got 2, and they would, let's say they're rated at 25 amps for my panels. Okay, then here I can add my drawings. So 1 has been auto-completed and says single line diagram drawing. Now in this case, when this document was drawn up initially, they wanted to make SLDs compulsory. And through most of the municipalities, they are compulsory. So that's why it's one of the fixed ones that you attach. So just say you are installing is single line diagram there, and that's its number. Then you can attach additional information like maintenance sheets. Now remember, if you document it here, you must add it. Okay. Then section 4 is similar to the previous one. You would indicate yes or no. Section 4 tests, again, bonding is correct, resistance is correct. Open circuit voltage of my panels, let's say it's 400 volts. Charging, no, that's my storage system, it's 51 volts. And I'm charging it at 54 volts, whatever. Neutral loop impedance. PSCC would be measured or calculated. Voltage, if you have it. Insulation resistance, whatever you measure. Voltage at your main dB, whatever you measure. My string voltage, 400 volts. On-load voltage of my strings, it says it's got a voltage drop of 5 volts, so it's 395. Now my battery bank, if I've got it, I get it from my supplier, I put it in here and say, let's say it's 5 kA. Or if I leave it blank, it just won't complete it. Then I've checked my polarity, I've checked my grid connection requirements, and I've checked all my switches, added my comments. Section 5 is automatically completed. And then I can click Save. So now I've completed my test report. I can go review my test report, see what I completed. As you can see here, the address has now been blanked out. Okay. I can go double check all my readings, go double check everything. And then my CFC is saved. I can come back tomorrow and then I can review my document and I can store it here until it's ready to issue. Change my dates as I need it, but I make sure I've got everything. Now, you can attach PDFs. PDF attachment is busy being updated so that the PDF becomes part of your COC. At the moment, your PDF gets loaded up as a document. There are specific restrictions. When you upload images, there's specific restrictions. When you add or remove PDFs, there's restrictions. And make sure you can print preview so you see your whole document. So from the unlocked COC page here, we can delete the eCOC completely. Okay. Up here, it's got the information on what you've got available to you. Remaining volume, how many have I created? How many have I locked? And it tells you how many you have signed electronically and how many you've signed with your standard signature, so they're unsigned on your thing. You can preview documents, specific documents, and see how they would look when you print them or when they are completed. And you can print an entire sample of the document. So let's say your client says, hey, I won't pay you till I see that you can issue the CFC. You can print him a sample that says, there we go. This is what the sample looks like. It's got a big sample across it. There's all the details. There's what we've completed so far. Please review. Okay. Then you can print it. You can print it to PDF, send it to him, and go that route. Okay. Now, let's say you want to attach a PDF. You click on attach PDF. You can title the document. Let's say you've got a document. You can describe the document, and you can choose. You can add PDF, PNGs, JPEGs up to a maximum of 4 megabytes. So let's say I want to attach something. What do I have that's readily available? Let's say I want to attach this guide from a manufacturer. I can click upload. And then it's attached to the document already. Now I can go and see what the document is. It'll open it. It's on there. Now it's a document all about whatever product I put on. And it's already part of my COC. Then let's say I want to attach an image. I can do the same thing. Let's say I want to name my image, give it a description. Then I choose my image. If I find my image, I can attach it. I choose that one. Now there's a specific limitation on the image. If you attach it this way, that it gives you a 1 megabyte and a 90 size limit. So now I've added all the information I needed for my eCOC. Now I can always print a sample to see what it's going to look like when it's done. And that's what it will look like. There's the document. If you click on the document, we'll open it. You just print the document additionally. But I'm not sure when they're completing it. It should be in the next month or two, hopefully. Then it will be incorporated as part of your COC. So what you already see is there's page numbers for your COC. On top of every page is the COC number. So all of these documents are linked together. So they can't say they didn't get it. Okay. So now let's say I'm happy with my COC. I'm going to publish. So we lock our COC. Now, once I've locked it, I cannot edit anything. Up until this point, I can still edit anything that I need to, except for the address and specific information that I would have to request from the office. Take my profile. Database. So once I've clicked lock, then it's ready to be signed. Okay. Now you see this green block here is going to ask you, do you want to attach a signature or do you want to leave it blank? If I leave it blank, that means I'm going to sign it hard copy. If I attach a signature, I need to attach a signature. I can set the date that I'm attaching the signature. Okay. Same thing with my contractor. Same thing with my test reports and everything. Okay. Now, once I've locked, I must make sure I've verified all of my details. Understand that your locking and affects further edits. You can't edit it. Locking is locking. I've locked the door. I cannot open it again. It's permanent. Okay. And now let's see the digital signing process. So if you don't have a COC yet, you can make one. So let's go look. So let's say I don't have any signatures here and I say I want to add a new signature. It'll take me to this screen that says upload signature. Now, you can choose a file and upload it. So let's say I made a signature and I've got my signature saved as an image. That signature has limitations on size so that it can scale correctly. Then I would upload my signature. So these are all the signatures that I've got uploaded at the moment. So if I'm not happy with my signature, I can delete it and re-upload it and edit it that way. Even if I delete my signature on past COCs, it won't take it off that signature, off that COC. Okay. So now that I've uploaded my signature, I can go back and I can select my signature. Now I can select, as soon as I click set here, it's going to place my signature and my date. No, it didn't load it. My signature and my date on the COC. I don't know why that wasn't working. Like that. Paste it. Date's there. And it will be there. I would have to do this for every single test report. Set my signature. Add it to. Once I have this, I'm ready to issue my COC. Now, once I'm ready to issue my COC, I can literally click on print. It's going to show me a preview of what it's going to look like. I can say, I don't want to print it as a PDF. I want to print it off my printer. I select my printer. It will print, or I can save it as a PDF. Now, if I save it as a PDF, I can save it. It'll save it wherever you want to save it. And then it will be in that document, in your downloads document, or whichever location you choose. So there's the document there. And now it's a PDF that you can send to your client. Okay. You can create a new signature and go to the tab. Now you've got to make sure that you've got something that's relatively nice. It's the same as signing when you at a pharmacy or most of these banks. Then you can just make your signature as you need to. And you can say create, and then it'll be one of your options. So some of our troubleshooting common issues that we find is login errors, making sure that your caps lock's on, caps lock off. So your password is case sensitive. So don't type it in and think, oh, we've changed your password. If your file upload fails, check the size, extension, and internet connection. Those are three common things. So one of the uploads, it'll give you an error if it's too big, and it'll say your file size is too big. Missing fields, there's certain required fields, for example, like the DB name and address and so forth, that it won't save unless you complete those specific fields. And yeah. So to recap, we know how to log in. We go to the ECA website or the ecoc website. We know how to create a COC on the platform and on the dashboard. We know how to attach files, and we know the limitation of those files. And we know what it means to lock, sign, and save. Now from here, all of these three, as with all things in life, they come with practice. The more you practice, the quicker this process becomes. Your first one might take a while, but hey, you might Cecil used to say that he could issue a ECOC correctly completed within 5 minutes and send to his client. So the functionality is there to do it quickly, efficiently, straightforward. You can do it on site and not have this backup of information that you might have to complete the COC later. If there's specific information you need, you can get it and add it later if you need to, and up until it's locked. Okay, so you've got a lot of functionality. And if you need support, you can contact IT. If there's anything she needs my help with, she will direct it directly to me. If you do want to sign up, contact any of your regional offices. If you don't know where your regional offices are, IT is it@ecasa.co.za right here. Okay. But if you want to contact your regions, you can go easily to the ECA website. You can say, contact us. Okay, thank you very much.